There's a moment in everyone's life when they look in the mirror and ask, is this it? Is this what I was born for? To wake up, drag myself through the day, go through the motions, survive the week just to repeat the cycle? Deep down, something aches, not from failure, but from potential left untapped. That ache, that restlessness, that hunger, that's not frustration. That's power waiting to be unleashed. That's your soul screaming, you were born for more. And it's right, because you were born to break limits. You were born to do the impossible. You were born to turn the word can't into your personal fuel. You were born to be the proof that odds mean nothing when purpose is everything. Let's talk about that word, limits. They're lies wrapped in logic. They're cages made of other people's fears. They're invisible lines drawn by the world saying, don't cross this. But you're not made to color inside their lines. You're made to rewrite the map. From the moment you took your first breath, you had something special. Not perfection, not ease, but fire. That divine spark that refuses to die, even after disappointments, heartbreaks, failures, and losses. It's still there. And today we're going to fan that spark into an inferno. Look back at your life. Think of every time you doubted yourself but kept going. Every time you heard no, but showed up anyway. Every time it would have been easier to quit, but something inside whispered, one more step. That voice, that's who you really are. Not the fear, not the failure, not the excuses. The fighter, the believer, the limit breaker. And if you forgot that, that's okay. Life will try to make you forget. It will hit you hard. It will stack weight on your shoulders and say, you're not strong enough. It will laugh when you try, criticize when you fall, and ignore you when you succeed. But guess what? You don't need applause to rise. You don't need a crowd to believe. You need one reason, one decision, one moment when you say, no more. No more shrinking. No more hiding. No more waiting. Because the world needs people who are on fire. Not the lukewarm. Not the maybe some days. Not the almost committed. It needs the bold. The broken but unbreakable. The people who walk into storms and say, let's go. That's you, even if you don't feel it yet. You see, the most dangerous thing the world has ever faced is a human being who realizes their worth. You were not born to live on repeat. You were not born to settle for survival. You were born to create, to build, to disrupt, to inspire, to conquer, to transform. You were born to rise so high that your former self wouldn't even recognize you. The road to greatness? It isn't straight. It's not paved in comfort. It's built through struggle, discipline, sacrifice, and unshakable belief. You will be tested. There will be nights where doubt screams louder than faith. There will be seasons of silence where nothing seems to be working and everyone seems to be winning but you. But do not be fooled. Growth doesn't announce itself. Transformation is quiet until it's undeniable. You don't see the roots growing under the soil, but that doesn't mean they're not there. You don't hear the heartbeat of purpose in the silence, but it's pounding louder than ever. You don't feel strong every day, but that doesn't mean you're not becoming unstoppable. The caterpillar doesn't look like it'll fly until it does, and it doesn't ask for permission. Neither should you. Stop waiting for a green light from people who don't even understand your destination. Stop explaining your vision to people who've settled for less. Stop watering relationships that choke your growth. Stop calling your calling crazy, because the truth is this: everyone who changed the world was once called crazy. Every breakthrough started as a breakdown. Every legend once stood exactly where you're standing, at the edge of fear, with a choice to make. You can fall back into comfort, or you can leap into possibility. Let's talk about failure. Failure is not your enemy. Failure is your teacher. Failure says, not like that. Try again. Failure is feedback. Failure is how we sharpen the blade. It's how we earn our strength. If you failed, good. That means you're in the arena. That means you're trying. That means you're alive. Let them laugh. Let them doubt. Let them underestimate you. That's fuel, because one day they'll say, I always knew you could do it. And you'll smile knowing you did it without them. You know what limits hate? They hate effort. They hate consistency. They hate grit. They hate people who get knocked down 7 times and stand up 8. You are not too old. You are not too young. You are not too late. You are not too broken. You are exactly right. Your background is not your barrier. It's your blueprint. Your pain is not your prison. It's your platform. Your scars, they're not shame. They're evidence. Evidence that you fought B. Here's something most people don't tell you. Limits only become real when you believe in them. The moment you decide to accept the idea that you're not enough, that you can't, that it's too late, you build the walls yourself. But if you built them, you can break them. Brick by brick, lie by lie, excuse by excuse. Because let's be honest, some of the limits you face aren't from others. They're from you. Self-imposed chains, narratives you've repeated so often, you started to believe them. I'm not smart enough. I'm not lucky enough. I wasn't born into the right family. I don't have the money. I'm not like them. Stop. Right. There. Let's rewrite that story. Let's create a new script, a new mindset, a new identity. Because the truth is, greatness doesn't come to the ones who have it all. It comes to the ones who refuse to quit. It comes to the ones who stay up later, get up earlier, outwork the excuses, silence the doubt, and walk through fire with their head held high. You don't need more motivation. You need conviction. You need to make a decision that your life will mean something, that you won't just pass through this world unnoticed, unfulfilled, and unheard, that you won't die with your greatness buried inside you. You don't need people to believe in you. You need to believe in yourself, even if your voice shakes, even if your knees tremble, even if your hands sweat. Believe anyway. You don't have to feel ready. You don't have to feel confident. You just have to move. Because movement creates momentum, and momentum destroys doubt. What if you just took the next step? Not all the steps, just the next one. You'd be shocked how fast the impossible becomes inevitable when you stop standing still. Some of you are waiting for perfect conditions. Let me tell you the truth. There's no such thing. There is no right time. There is no guarantee. There is only now. And you know what's worse than failing? Regret. Regret is the poison that eats the soul from the inside out. It whispers, you should have tried. It haunts with what ifs. It lives in silence. But you were born to be loud, to be bold, to shake the world awake with your presence. So let me ask you, what would you do if you weren't afraid? What dream would you chase if you weren't worried about opinions? What life would you build if you knew you couldn't fail? Now, what's stopping you? Be honest. Because most of the time, it's not the world, it's you. Fear isn't the enemy. Fear is the compass. It points toward what matters. If it doesn't scare you, it probably doesn't stretch you. You grow by going through it, by walking into the fire and learning that the fire can't touch what's eternal inside you. Your soul doesn't burn. Your spirit doesn't crack. Your purpose doesn't flinch. That's the real you. The unshakable, limitless, relentless version of you. And yeah, people will misunderstand you. They'll call you arrogant for believing in yourself. They'll say, who do you think you are? Here's your answer. I am someone who refuses to die with my wings unused. I am someone who will not apologize for wanting more. I am someone who was born to break limits. You think those words are just hype? They're truth. And if no one ever told you, let me be the first. You are more powerful than you've ever been taught. You have more inside you than you've ever tapped into. And the only thing keeping you from your next level is permission, and you don't need it. If the door doesn't open, build one. If the ladder is broken, climb with your hands. If they doubt you, become undeniable. Because here's the reality, they're watching. They might laugh now, but they'll study you later. They might mock the grind, but they'll admire the glow up. They might ignore you today, but one day they'll quote your words and share your story. But don't do it for them. Do it because you can. Do it because your children are watching. Do it because your younger self deserves it. Do it because the world needs what only you carry. You don't have to be the smartest. You don't have to be the most talented. You just have to refuse to quit. Because consistency beats talent when talent won't work. Because hunger beats privilege when privilege gets lazy. Because purpose beats popularity every time. You want to break limits? Then break your patterns, break your distractions, break your addictions to comfort, comparison, and complaining. Limit breakers don't need perfect plans. They just need purpose. And your purpose is calling, right now, louder than ever. What are you going to do? Stand still or step up? This is your time. Not someday, not later, not when you feel ready. Now, let's go deeper now. You've felt it, haven't you? That pressure in your chest, that fire in your gut that says, I'm made for more. You try to push it down, ignore it, distract yourself, but it keeps coming back because truth doesn't die. And the truth is, you were not born to blend in. You were born to stand out. And standing out means being uncomfortable. It means being different. It means being misunderstood, criticized, even mocked. But legends aren't made in the crowd. They're made outside of it. Stop trying to be liked. Start trying to be legendary. Because every second you waste trying to be accepted by people with small minds, you reject the calling on your life. And make no mistake, your life has a calling. You weren't dropped into this world by accident. You were placed here with precision, with gifts, with pain, with purpose. Your story, it matters. Your voice, it matters. Your scars, they matter. Because someone out there is waiting, not for a perfect hero, but for you, for your testimony, for your breakthrough, for your example, so they can believe it's possible for them too. That's why you can't quit. You can't give in to the pressure. You can't let fear write your final chapter. You've come too far. You've been through too much. The world needs your fight. The world needs your light. And look, don't worry about who claps. Most of the time, your biggest fans are strangers, and your biggest critics wear familiar faces. That's okay. Let them doubt. Let them shrink. You rise. Because when you're called to break limits, you're going to ruffle feathers. You're going to make people uncomfortable just by being committed, by growing, by changing, by refusing to stay the same. Comfort is where dreams go to die. Growth only happens when you stretch, when you go further than you've ever gone before. Do you want to be normal, or do you want to be great? Normal watches, greatness moves. Normal waits for permission. Greatness claims its place. You are not here to play it safe. You're here to take risks, to build something that outlives you, to run so far past your past that it can't even recognize you anymore. You don't owe your past a single thing, except to outrun it. Maybe you grew up in chaos. Maybe you were raised in pain. Maybe life hasn't been fair. You don't get to choose your beginnings, but you do get to choose your becoming. And becoming something extraordinary takes everything you've got, all the discipline, all the commitment, all the belief, especially when belief is all you've got left. The world isn't looking for perfect. It's looking for real, for people who rise despite the odds, for people who own their flaws but own their power even more. You want to change your life, change your mindset, change your circle, change your habits, change your words, change what you tolerate, change how you show up for you. You've got power in your breath, power in your vision, power in your consistency, but that power only activates when you move. Don't wait for confidence, create it. Confidence comes from keeping your promises to yourself, from showing up when it's hard, from doing what most won't. Every time you keep showing up, you build trust in yourself. And when you trust yourself, you become dangerous. Why? Because then nobody can shake you. Not their words, not their opinions, not their silence, not even your fear. This world tries to tame the wild ones. It tells them to be quiet, behave, be realistic. But you weren't born to be tamed. You were born to roar. You were born to break ceilings. You were born to flip tables when the system is broken. You're not just here to break your limits. You're here to break limits for others, to shatter generational curses, to redefine what's possible, to leave a legacy so loud it echoes long after you're gone. Your struggle wasn't pointless. It was preparing you. Every tear watered the soil of your destiny. Every scar carved depth into your soul. Every setback was a setup for your next chapter. And now you're ready. Not perfect, but ready. The old you? That version's done. Say goodbye. Mourn it, thank it, and let it go. Because the next level of your life requires a different version of you. A version that doesn't second guess. A version that doesn't apologize for their ambition. A version that doesn't shrink to fit the room. You're not too much. You're not over the top. You're not too intense. You're exactly what you need to be to break what others thought couldn't be broken. Own that. Embrace that. Stand in that. Because when you finally accept who you are and what you're made for, limits start to look like lies. Fear starts to fade. And your life, it becomes proof that anything is possible. Listen to me now. You don't get forever. This life, this one life, it goes fast. Faster than you expect. You blink and years disappear. You take people for granted, moments for granted, time for granted, until one day you realize you can't get it back. And that's why this message matters. That's why you matter. Because there are two types of people in this world. The ones who exist and the ones who live. The ones who float and the ones who fly. I need you to fly. I need you to break every chain this world tried to put on you. Every limitation, every label, every lie. Because whether they told you or not, you were created on purpose, for purpose. And you know how I know? Because you're still here, after everything, after the heartbreaks, after the losses, after the failures. You're still standing, still breathing, still dreaming. Don't ignore that. Don't waste that. There's something in you this world hasn't seen yet. And if you don't bring it out, if you don't become who you were meant to be, then the world misses out on something eternal. We all leave this world one day, but what we do while we're here, that's our legacy. Not the money, not the stuff, but the impact, the lives we change, the courage we spark, the love we leave behind. So tell me, what will they say when you're gone? That you played it safe? That you followed the rules? That you buried your brilliance just to fit in? Or will they say you lit fires in people's hearts? That you made them believe in themselves again? That you broke limits so they could see it's possible to break their own? You were not made for mediocrity. You were made for movement, for meaning, for mission. Don't die with your song still in you. Don't spend your whole life standing at the edge of who you could be, too afraid to jump. Don't keep shrinking so others feel comfortable. The world doesn't need your smallness. It needs your strength, your story, your spark. And yeah, it's going to be hard. Yeah, it's going to test you. But nothing worth having comes without a fight. And this fight, it's not outside you. It's in you. You versus your fear. You versus your doubt. You versus your excuses. You versus your past. You versus your pain. You versus your comfort. And every time you choose growth over fear, every time you choose purpose over approval, every time you choose faith over feelings, you take one more step into the person you were born to be. It's time to wake up. Wake up to your worth. Wake up to your power. Wake up to your calling. No more someday. No more when it's easier. No more when I feel ready, because you'll never feel ready. Greatness doesn't wait for your permission. It moves when you do. So move. Move before you think you're good enough. Move before it all makes sense. Move even if you're scared. Move even if your hands shake and your voice cracks and your knees tremble. Move because your life depends on it. The old you, the one that hesitated, that hid, that held back, that version of you is over. This is your rebirth. This is your resurrection. This is your awakening. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are not too late. You are becoming. And don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Not the people who left, not the ones who laughed, not the voices in your head that say you'll never make it. They don't get the final word. You do. So choose your words wisely. Speak power into your own future. Prophesy your greatness. Declare your destiny. Say it with me, out loud if you have to. I was born to break limits. I will not shrink. I will not settle. I will not stay stuck. I will rise. I will win. I will live a life that matters. Because let's get one thing clear. You don't just inspire people by what you say. You inspire them by how you live, by the battles you face and don't run from, by the love you give when it's hard, by the grit you show when it's painful, by the truth you speak when it's not popular. You were born to do more than just exist. You were born to ignite. So ignite. Set your mind on fire. Set your heart on fire. Set your soul on fire. And let the world watch you burn with purpose. And when it gets hard, and it will, when the pressure mounts and your knees buckle, remember this: you're not alone. There's a creator who shaped you with intention, who placed eternity in your heart, who knew every flaw and still chose you for greatness. You don't need to do this on your own strength. You've got a fire in you that hell can't put out. You've got a light in you darkness can't swallow. You've got a destiny no one can steal. So lean into it, fight for it, bleed for it if you must. But don't you dare give up. This is your time. This is your mountain. This is your legacy. Don't live on autopilot. Don't trade your purpose for popularity. Don't chase the temporary and forget the eternal. Live fully, boldly, unapologetically. Love deeply.